Good evening and welcome to the Town of Waterboro Planning Board meeting of November 17th, 2021. Tonight we have one item on our agenda, and that is an application submitted by S&D Development LLC. But before we kick off our business, we'll ask Angela to please call the roll of the board.
Devin Chamberlain.
Here.
Clyde Smith.
Here.
Edward Zelmanow.
Present.
Lori Anthony. Here. Rebecca Higgins.
Present.
Diane Griff.
Here.
Great, thanks Angela. Seeing as we have 6 out of 6, we do have a quorum. Seeing that we do have 6, we do have one vacancy still. So again, anybody interested out in the public who wishes to be a member of the board, contact the town or visit the town's website and get an application in. Next item, we're going to be dealing with minutes of our previous meeting of October 20th, at which Devin and myself were not able to attend, and I apologize. I had a medical emergency spring up on me that morning, but we do have enough members here to be able to review it and give their consent to approving it. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to read it.
This is just a formality, but that actually is not on the agenda. Do we need to actually add that to the agenda? No?
What was that?
It's on, it says minutes of previous meeting.
Yeah, but I didn't have them
It's not in
completely
there.
finished, so I
She didn't have them finished at the time.
Oh, okay. But it still says on the agenda, so we're
Well, they're
we're
not
okay.
listed under it though. It's
Yeah,
a
just-
formality.
yeah.
Normally have been just adding them to the agenda.
Oh, I say dates
Yeah.
of the meeting minutes that you,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
So if it's
The
not
fact it
there-
says previous meeting, we fall back on what the previous meeting was, so we should be good. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to read through them. If anybody has any additions, changes, modifications, or the such, speak now, or forever hold your peace. Are there any objections to the minutes as written and distributed? Seeing none, then they are accepted. So we'll move on, and we'll just quickly get out of the way old business, and that's the committees. The ordinance review and zoning ordinance review. And again, those committees I set up so that if a new ordinance or an amendment to an ordinance should come up, or to a zoning issue come up, it would be sent to that committee to meet on a separate evening to speak about it and then report their conclusions to the board to discuss in a workshop. It always works better and quicker when it's handled in a smaller group. So I'd ask everybody to just think about which committee they would like to be on, and seeing as we have 6 members, it would be 3 and 3 at this time. So by show of hands, who would like to be on the ordinance committee?
The ordinance review?
Yep. Okay, we got Devin.
You can put me wherever.
Okay, we'll put Rebecca and myself on there. And everyone else will put on the zoning ordinance committee. Doesn't mean you can't attend the other meeting or
Don't put
not.
me on there, just because I did not on the other one.
Well, you have to be on one or the other.
Who says?
Okay, if you don't want to
I
do it,
didn't say I
that's
didn't want to.
fine. Okay. Well,
I do have a couple questions as to
Okay.
what the intent of the zoning ordinance review committee was going to entail. If that was going to be reviewing all zoning ordinance individually, or if that was going to be targeting the ones that are on the task list, which I looked at, and it seems the village district and village area comes up quite a bit.
So that could be the first item of business for the committee, is to look into that.
And I was just wanted to verify that it wasn't just a whole review of all zoning ordinance. It would pick one at a time.
Yep.
And not tackle the entire thing.
No, that would be too much for the group.
No.
Yeah, one at a time, you just pick and choose off of that list, and it's easier to do it that way than have this full board tackle that list.
Okay, and with that said, if we were going to tackle them individually, and if we were going to start with the village district and village areas, I was curious as to the availability of Lee J, since his name is next to those items on the task list as participating.
So, excuse me, I guess I didn't know or had not had any discussion about what my participation level would be for you folks on either one of those committees. And I can tell you that I am pretty stretched right now. I do 3 nights on these weeks every other week, and I do 2 nights on the other weeks, and I'm serving, of course, a number of masters with a number of towns. And right now, all I am doing or capable of doing is development reviews, and I'm whipping those out as fast as I can. Because people like Jason are keeping me busy in other towns too. My availability is going to be very limited for the time being. Besides, I lost my junior planner who was covering Hollis and North Berwick as well. So we're stretched very thin right now in my shop and myself.
I just was curious.
Yeah, and I just don't know. We've been trying to find another planner, and we are in the same boat as many other businesses are. We cannot find people that have the expertise we need. So anyway, I mean, I just don't know what my availability of resources is going to be, but it's very, very limited right now.
Yeah. I was curious because I did notice that the town planner is also involved in some of those items on the task list, and I do value your input and your opinion, so that was just something I was curious about. Was your availability. With that being said, if we're going to do them one at a time with the district, the village district being front and forward.
Yeah, it would be up to the committee, to that group, to decide the priorities, but that sounds like a good place to start for them.
It is on the task list. That is mentioned several times in the task list. So.
Right, so it's time to start ticking those off one at a time.
You may put me on there then.
As a point of clarity, when you say ordinance review, you mean things like the solar ordinance and...
Yeah, any amendments or questions that come up on it, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I had a proper understanding.
Okay.
I probably should have asked before I raised my hand, but...
No, and members are more than welcome to go from one committee to the other or to attend each other's meetings.
That is my understanding,
but it's good to have at
I
least
wasn't
3
100%
assigned to each one. That way we know we have 3 there to do it, so it's not just one person sitting in a room doing it all by themselves.
Right, we can't by bylaws. We have to have 3 minimum.
Correct.
All right, so that'll be the committee, so we'll have them in place so that items can be sent to
I'm
them.
stretched too, and I'll do
And
what
I
I
was
can.
going to
I'm
say,
extremely stretched.
you need to verify that. I know we had 5 that are willing. There was 1 member who needs to if she can or cannot.
Right.
And at the first meeting of the committees, they should just elect the chairperson to run that meeting for them, and then just let us know who that might be, and then they can give a report at our planning board meetings as to the work that the committee has done since the last meeting of the board.
Are you willing to try, Deborah, and see if you can do it?
Diane?
Diane,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Deb used to sit down there.
It's not, obviously, everybody's busy. I'm a business owner. There's other business owners here. I'll do what I can. Just is going to see how many days or how often we're going to be doing this. So I just want to make sure that's clear. And obviously, with my expertise, I would prefer to be on zoning.
Ordinance review or the zoning, or is the village district starting?
The village district.
Just starting with the regular zoning.
Yep.
And if they meet just once a month, at least it's something to get this moving forward, to start getting these items reviewed and hopefully taken off the list at some point in the future. All right, so
You're far ahead of me.
if there's nothing further on the committees, we'll move on to new business. which is an application from S&D Development LLC, also known as the East Waterboro Self-Storage, for a site plan review and expansion. And we have the applicants here, and before we kick it off with them, we'll just ask Lee J to introduce this to the board and give us his thoughts on the plan.
Certainly, thank you. Good evening. First thing I want to do is make sure that I'm in the right town, because my memo says Berwick.
I know, I got confused.
And again, I'm actually, it's kind of funny, but I'm actually doing a fairly large expansion of a self-storage facility in Berwick as well, so I apologize. It is Waterboro, and I know the write-up on the project is correct, and we are doing the right project here in the memo. So, yes, S&D is seeking approval to add 6 new storage buildings to the rear of the site. 2018, the applicant did receive Site Location Development Act permit and approval for the addition of the 11 new buildings that are on the front of the property, with the infrastructure that was put in for stormwater. Since then, 4 new buildings had been constructed. They were in front of this board for that approval as well. The applicant is now looking to add a series of rear buildings. This project has met with the staff review committee, which is fire, code enforcement, myself, to go over any issues that we may have had or seen before it came to you folks. The biggest issue of concern that we had was that both fire and code enforcement would like to have seen a second means of egress to those rear buildings, because as you can see, they would be very difficult for fire apparatus to maneuver around to get back there in a quick and timely manner. You do have a revised sheet in front of you. We did not provide you with the whole revised plan set, but the revised sheet does show a new access point, which we have seen prior to you folks. It does address that issue, and so when it comes time for the public hearing and full submission, we should see a whole new plan set that addresses that. There's also, the applicant has added some grading to the rear of the site so that it just doesn't show snow storage, but we're assured that grading will take place and it will be able to convey the water to the stormwater ponds and some other minor additions that we requested, and the applicant has provided all of that information. Tonight's meeting is certainly go over and introduce the project to you. Jason Vafiatis is here representing the client, and the recommendation from myself on this would be that you could find the application complete and set a date for a public hearing based on the submission of all the materials that they have, and this has or is going to the DEP for an amended stormwater permit, so it's fairly well put together plan. And that's all I have. I do note in here under my recommendations, any conditions of approval I'm going to reserve at this time until after a public hearing, so that we know if there are any other issues that any public might have or we would want to address as part of the approval.
Great, thanks, Lee J. Welcome. Floor is yours. Yep, and I'm just going to ask our technical person, can you get the plan on the camera?
Yep.
All right, great.
Yep. Jason Vafiatis, Atlantic Resource Consultants, here on behalf of Tom Soul, who's the owner of East Waterboro Self-Storage. I believe Lee J did a great job filling you in on all of the pertinent information. Currently, right now, the existing facility has all of these buildings here. And then after the 2018 site location approval by the main DEP, he came in and got approval for these 4 buildings right here, which he's now constructed. Those buildings are full. It's time to move on to the next phase. And so we're looking to have the municipal approval match the DEP approval that we currently have by adding in the last 8 buildings. No, actually, I think it's 6 buildings in accordance with our DEP permit. And Lee J, just one quick clarification. We don't actually have to go back to MDEP. We already, all of this was approved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So And the portions that were constructed, we did certify and send in to them, so they're all set with the project. And that's basically it. So we did add, we took a little of the impervious area out, and we did add this added structure here, so that for public safety access, we can get in and out very quickly. This will be a gated access with a Knox pad, and it will not be open to the public. So my client does own this paved way that is also used as a couple of driveways. They have easements over it, but we have full right of access and use of that.
Great, thank you. Sure. So we'll open it up to the board for questions and comments.
You know I do.
Go right ahead, Laura.
I was just waiting for everybody else first, that's all. So this is the one you're going with to satisfy the request of the fire department?
Correct.
Okay. And I noticed on your vehicle plan, you went around one way. I was curious with this concept, of course, they will never turn down the left, my left.
Down here.
No. If they entered it,
Down that paved area?
right,
Yeah.
and then head south with
Coming around like that?
No, the other way. If they enter off the right of way
Yep.
and come up to that corridor, if they needed to go down directly south from that north
Down one of
access,
those?
Down, like down this road.
Oh,
Yep.
that way,
Yep.
yeah.
that's a square corner. I was wondering if they would ever do that, because they couldn't right now.
Oh, we can add a radius to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'd have to do is, I think what we're gonna do is, so the fence line is out here, so we'll put the radius to the fence, just like we have in here, so that they can make that turn.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I see. You're talking about right there.
right there,
Right,
right
so
there.
if you rounded the radius
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good catch.
in both directions, that's a good point.
Right, because if they had a
Come in
distress
and
call
they had-
here, otherwise they'd have to come out, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise they're dodging in
Yeah, they'd
between.
come down and they'd have to go all the way around.
Right, and that
It's
was,
just a few square feet of extra pavement.
that's fine.
Yeah, actually,
That's fine. So, no, I'm glad you see you're going with that entrance. My other question, well, actually, this is plan presentation. If you could throw some dimensions onto your setbacks. You labeled the wetland setback, none of the
Oh,
other ones aren't.
Yep.
And then the other right-of-way along the road,
Oh, here? Yep.
no, the one on the private road,
Oh, yes. Yep.
is that a right-of-way or an easement? Because if it's a right-of-way or an easement, the setback should be going around it and not through it.
Oh, right. So setback from the easement line? Yeah, I'll check the survey and make sure which one. Yep.
Thank you. And in your narrative on item 4, just for consistency, it says 10-foot side setbacks, if you could make that 35.
Sure. Yep. Was that on mine or yours? You did. Oh.
That's in your,
Okay.
yours, yeah. No, I'm saying I missed it.
Oh, right.
That's why, that's 40 feet. The truck that they used was 35 feet long. And, all right, you mentioned hazardous waste and vehicle storage, which I know you store vehicles outside right now. With this expansion, is there going to be any vehicle storage? Because it just doesn't look, not outside anyways.
No,
Okay.
no. Once that gets built out.
Go outside
No.
boats and.
Boats,
No, If we
campers.
do that, what we'd have to do is go back to the DEP and say, we're going to add on to the
Right.
back area of this, and then get their approval, and then come back to you guys and say, we need to get approval to expand it out here for parking.
while Lori's flipping through, I'll just ask, just to confirm, all the state permitting is complete?
That's correct.
Wonderful. And one other thing, where the paved way meets the main entrance access corridor, is it possible to put a sign there that says authorized vehicle access only or something? This way you don't have people just driving down there thinking it's another entrance to get in, and they end up at the gate and they got to turn around or back out somehow.
That's all I have.
Great, thanks, Lori. No, great stuff, absolutely. Anything else from the board? So I know I always ask this on plans, anybody wishing to do a site walk? Hearing none, we will dispense with the site walk. While members are still thinking about any comments or questions, the public hearing, Angela, what date would that be, the earliest that we could have that?
They can get their mailings out tomorrow, you can have it December 1st.
December 1st.
Can you have revised plans back in here, Jason?
Is that-
When do you want those by the end of the week? Yep.
And if it's going to be too tight, then we can go for the next meeting.
No, those are minor changes.
On the 15th.
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't want to push you guys. I know applicants are always like, okay, so let's get this going. So,
Staff seems to be an issue for everybody, so.
anything else from the board? Anything else from Lee J? Nope. Any members of the public? Nope. Seeing none here. All right, so we'll schedule this for a public hearing, and the notices will go out. And at which time we'll be able to hopefully review it for final approval at that time. Great. And I don't think we need a motion to table or anything for the public hearing. Great.
Yes, you wanna, just make a motion for completeness? On the application.
We need to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, if it's in our thing.
You know, every board works differently, and
Yeah.
Jason works
All
differently.
right, so Lori will make the
I will make a
motion.
motion to find your application complete.
All right, do we have a second?
Second it.
All right, we got Clyde seconding it. So all in favor of finding the application complete? We have 6 yeas. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a great night. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
All right, are there any communications that need to be made from anybody? All right, nothing miscellaneous, so I think we're ready for a motion to adjourn. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
I guess it would be communication. When do you want to start setting up your committees?
That was my question too.
Whenever the members of the committee wish to get it started, it's up to each committee to speak amongst themselves. You can even loop
Yeah.
Angela in and,
I haven't read that book yet.
no?
I can help with emails, but you're.
Right, yeah, that's it,
you're
just to help
pushing.
people in talking to each
I'm
other.
not gonna be able to attend these
No,
meetings, they're
no.
gonna be,
Yeah, I'm just thinking about communicating with each other to help facilitate
So
that.
you can communicate that via email
Mm-hmm,
amongst the two committee members?
yeah, 2, 3, whoever it might be, or,
Or
is that
just
something
go
that we
with,
could actually
so that
set
everybody
them?
knows?
Right, yeah, that might be, yeah.
Email amongst
Yeah.
themselves, or would that be?
Yeah, the members of the committee come up with a date that you want to meet and then let everybody know when it is.
Okay, we could do that.
My assumption is our first order of business as far as ordinance would be trying to get that solar ordinance to a state that they're happy with, or
Well, we
was
haven't
that?
been, I don't know if we've been asked to do that just yet.
Yeah, all I know is that it wasn't.
So, yeah,
Solar ordinance
so,
has been adopted.
That's
right,
okay.
so
Okay.
there's nothing for the
That's-
ordinance
Last I had heard
committee
it
to do
hadn't,
just
and
yet.
even though we had,
The
okay.
only thing
That
that
is-
there was a question on wind, which Lee J had made a presentation.
Well, I
That was-
developed a presentation, I never got to make
And
it.
and that's what I'm saying, is that there was some question that came up about wind, and Lee J spent time developing a presentation, and then it fell through the cracks.
But
That would be the only thing.
I mean, if we're staying on that for conversation purposes, I mean, I think Clyde and I have had just, personal conversations away from here, and I think that there's, we can certainly talk about wind, but I think there's going to be other more immediate types of energy issues
That will come up.
that will come up that we may want to focus on.
Yeah,
Interestingly enough, my presentation ends with the fact that I think looking ahead, the next big thing is battery storage.
Yeah, battery.
And that's coming, so.
So when does the solar moratorium expire? Maybe it's something for Dennis.
We adopted it, in August, so, but it's irrelevant now because
Yeah, because I thought you passed it.
we passed the solar.
The ordinance itself,
You
okay.
passed the ordinance.
The alternate energy.
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
alternative energy.
Systems.
Yes.
So the ordinance committee can just basically stand fast and wait until they're,
Unless there's something else that, is generated that you want to add to that.
right. Yeah, and anytime there's a member of the board who comes across an ordinance that they feel should be looked at, and they can always bring it to the board and say, hey, I discovered an ordinance that has a loophole in it or a big gap in it that we need to fill, or something in there isn't jiving with what the state law is or anything, then we can address it and see if it's something that should be sent down to the ordinance committee.
Private road standards?
Well, those are not part of the zoning ordinance or subdivision ordinance. They're separate standalone. So that really would go straight to the selectmen.
But it's something that these guys could work on along.
If the select board directs us.
There's a rule in town. It does
Right.
not, it does not address private.
Private, right.
Correct. So, and I know Mike is,
You've got Mike, Pete, and Captain Fraser that are
Yeah.
concerned with private road standards, that we have nothing to guide us.
so, so that's really, could or couldn't be the planning board's, I mean, ultimately, the road standards are not part of the zoning, right?
Or subdivision.
Or subdivision.
Right.
It's a separate standalone ordinance.
Correct.
Yeah,
So you got the road review committee,
Mm-hmm.
public works director, code officer that probably can stimulate some activity with regard to that, rather than having the planning board try to become road experts.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds like the select board has more of the subject matter experts at their level. They've got more resources than we do at our level. That it would be something drafted by your
Ultimately, the
group.
ordinance would have to be passed by the board.
Right.
Or selectmen. But
I mean, I have a good model that could work off. Arundel has a very specific private street ordinance. As a starting, I think there's some issues with it, but it's a starting point. I can certainly provide that to the town.
Well, we've also had some dilemma with it, and I think to some extent, there's a conflict when subdivision plans come to the board, and like the driveway entrance permits, right? We have a driveway entrance system. Well, I understand in the subdivision, until that road is approved and accepted by the town,
Right.
it's a moot point, right? But
Correct.
if you have a entrance onto a town-owned road, then you have to meet
Certainly standards,
you
yes.
have to meet the standards
For
in
the
the,
drive opening.
yeah, the
Yes.
driveway opening.
Yes.
So is this something that's going to start up at the select board that we don't need to concern ourselves with it just
I would
just yet?
not worry about
Okay.
Yep.
private road standards at this point.
Yeah.
That's something that will be driven by the code officer, the public works director, and if they need
And the fire
assistance from
marshal.
the town, right. Yeah, and really, it becomes the issue of the road review committee.
Right, right.
As to add on to Lee J's point, you've got about 6 months to a year to figure out what you're going to do with BES. So the current state roadmap, their pilot program starts this year. So get ready for it.
Great, anything further from the board? All right, then I believe we're set for a motion to adjourn. Anybody? Bueller?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, do we have a second? All right, Clyde again. All in favor of adjourning? We have 6 yeas. Have a great evening, everyone.